Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of the Keswick Ripple podcast. My name is Jim Lang. I'm the Director of Guest Services here. And each week we want to bring you a testimony that we hope encourages your heart and life. One of the most dynamic parts of our ministry is that when a man or woman comes to one of our programs and their lives are radically changed by the gospel of Jesus Christ, they're sent out to their churches, communities, and families, and God uses them in a mighty way. And so today I want to introduce you to Richie. Richie is a graduate of the Colony of Mercy. He's currently in our discipleship program. So, Richie, welcome. Thank you for taking some time to share part of your story with us. And so why don't you start out by telling everyone kind of what your life was like growing up?
Honestly, thank you for having me here this afternoon, Jim. I've had a little bit of a rough childhood growing up. My biological dad and mom were married. They've had a convenience store for 16 years. I was first and only child at first, and my two youngest siblings came around. It was just rough because there was drugs involved, alcohol involved. My biological father was an alcoholic and a druggie. He basically did stuff, lied, cheated. Basically, everything was just a spiraling tornado.
Okay. And so, how did you, in all that craziness, how did you come to know the Lord?
When I came to know the Lord at the age of 13 at a youth group that I attended with my best friend. He brought me to the church. He brought me to know who Jesus was and what he did for sinners. I professed Christ at a young age and really was not saved, still dabbling in sin. I came to actually know the Lord March 7th of 2020 here at America's Keswick Colony of Mercy in my own room. It was a Saturday night before Circle of Praise that I said, I'm done with myself on the throne. I gave it up to the Lord.
And so what actually brought you here to the colony?
Pornography, lusting, just simple stuff that guys have issues with now, and the world has an issue with now still to this day. I've just had issues with growing up at a young age just because that was my way of feeling accepted, my way of feeling loved. Like I said, my dad loved us a little bit, but he really was into his own business, into his stuff. He didn't really show love to us. When we got in trouble, he would try to throw something or just yell at us.
Okay. So how did you actually hear about, so you had your struggles, how did you hear about the colony?
Colony of Mercy, my adopted father was telling me about places when I left school because I had gotten kicked out from Bob Jones University in South Carolina for what I was looking at on my computer, which my dad was looking for addiction recovery places where it'd be local for them to come and see me. And then my dad told me about the colony, and I said I would give it a go and see what the Lord would do. And just basically for me, trying to be open, trying to be transparent.
So you come to the colony, you encounter the grace and love of Jesus Christ. And so how has he changed your heart since you've been here?
He's done a lot for me. One thing I can say, just his love is unconditional. That's one thing I can say about that. He's shown me so much grace when I should have been either in jail, locked up, or left for dead.
What is some of the most difficult things that you've had to do while you're here at the colony? What are some of the difficulties you face?
Reprocessing through my biological mother's death. My biological mother was murdered July 19th of 2016. So I have two younger siblings. It didn't really faze them per se, but it fazed me more because I had a good relationship with my mom.
And so that's something you're processing here?
Yeah, with trauma counseling.
Okay. And so more than likely someone who is watching this right now is struggling either with addiction to drugs and alcohol, or like yourself, someone who struggled with pornography. What would you say to them today?
If you have an accountability team, or if you are connected with a church, be transparent, take time, go to your pastor, tell him what you're dealing with just open up to someone you trust, basically. For me, my adopted parents knew everything. I opened up the doors to that. That's why I'm here today, and that's why I sit here in the colony now. And yesterday was my 6th month of the colony.
And we love having Richie here. We're so proud of you, Richie, and just all God's doing in your life. And we hope that this testimony was an encouragement to your heart and life. If it was, we encourage you to like it, to share it on your social media platforms, and we will see you next week. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Awesome.